organic textures, glossy buttons, digital patterns, and human input. These are some of the graphic design trends I predict for 2026. Let's talk about it.
Dreadlabs.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs and I'm a visual artist and graphic designer. And in today's video I want to talk about what I think will be some design trends in the graphic design and art sphere in 2026. Before we get started, of course, if you want to see more videos, there's over hundreds of videos regarding graphic design on my channel, so if you want to subscribe, there's a button down below. But of course you already know that. So some of the general predictions that I want to talk about here is I think all of us are kind of getting sick of AI slop and the internet in general slowly devolving over time. And this feeling of being tired of this kind of stuff, I feel like takes us away more into human input. And what I mean by that is that I am really attracted to when I see art, animations, or graphic design work where you can just see that there's a lot of human touch to it. Whether it's like printed, has some actual imperfections, maybe it's drawn by hand. Essentially things a computer has a hard time trying to remake, or at least some AI or some douchebag who doesn't really know what art is and just wants to make money with it cannot replicate. So things like hand drawings or printer defects are definitely going to be part of this trend. But another thing that I think will be actually very interesting to see is coded stuff. And maybe AI can help you with this, I guess, because it's code, but more of the stuff like digitalized coding patterns and stuff like that in combination maybe with analog work. I'll give you some examples of those further down in the video. For now, let's talk about the first trend, organic textures. So I'm not like randomly pulling these trends out of my head. It's just what I've been seeing around on the internet and basically art that really interests me and other people from the community. And organic textures is one of these, and I've been seeing this a lot in the works of Barkle. He's of course been around for years at this point, but some of the works that he posted as of the last, I don't know, maybe like 8 months or so, I think there's some heavy use of organic textures, whether it looks like stone or cement or something like that. I'm not sure if it's mixed media in the first place or if it's like fully digital, but it just looks very organic, I guess. And of course, Barkle has had his fair share of leading the industry to new design trends, as he has done many times before, I think, personally. Some other interesting methods of using organic textures or using analog methods are Rapapawn Studio, DTAN Studio, and Michael Askew. And by the way, all of the artists that I mentioned in this video, I'll link them in the description down below. And another thing that I've been seeing that has been trending a lot is Sigilism, and kind of like the Sigilism that you used to see in design trends around like the early 2000s, like slowly going back to like the late 2000s. When I was a kid, around like 2007, 2008, I used to spend a lot of time on the internet and on forums, and this was a huge design trend back then. But that's basically using a lot of organic textures and creating those really earth-tony grunge patterns. And someone who has been doing this is, like I said, Vulgarjargon. So these are kind of like apart from each other, these styles, but I think all of these are slowly becoming a little bit more trendy. And if you want to start using these styles or learning from them, what you can do is, of course, check out the artists that I mentioned before. And I would also suggest that you would build a library of textures of all kinds of stuff. For example, I made a filth package. You can find it on my website. I use it regularly in my design work nowadays. And it's basically a huge library of textures that I took pictures of when I was just walking through my own city. So you can find textures like asphalt and concrete and metal in there. And these just have some imperfections that are fairly hard to replicate with AI. I'm sure you can generate this kind of stuff with AI, but for me, it's just the feeling of going outside and taking pictures of those with my own phone. Makes it a lot more real to me because I've done it by hand, I guess, if that makes sense. I've also did this rock pattern pack, which contains a lot of hand drawings, which I then put into 3D and turn it into rock textures, basically. So yeah, these are also giving that human element by drawing them by hand and then also having that really noisy texture, which turns them kind of into rocks. And I've used these in a poster that you can see on the screen right now. I had a ton of fun making this, and I will definitely be exploring this style further as 2026 starts and continues. Next up, we got digital patterns. I already talked a little bit about this in the intro of the video, but I think the fair way to start this out with is, I think, coding rather than using design tools. But Of course, anything is possible, and combining all kinds of disciplines will definitely result in some interesting art or design work. Someone who has been doing this for years at this point, and he recently caught my eye as of last year, and he's probably one of my favorite designers or creators ever since I've saw his work, and he is called Janu Provencher. So I've watched a fair amount of his talks, and he uses algorithms and coding to make imagery or turn existing images into some very interesting looking images and animations. And by doing the coding part, this takes you into a whole more interesting realm, I guess, and that's interaction design, where the input of what you put through the algorithm can change depending on the person putting it in. It might just be you. Maybe you can find something where other people can add something to your work that goes through your algorithm, and then the results are a little bit more randomized compared when you are the sole person working on this algorithm, I guess. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I highly recommend listening to some talks by Janu Provencher. I will also link his website in the description down below. And if you want to start learning this by yourself, I would highly recommend learning the programming language called processing, because it's a really easy way to get started into creative coding. And I would highly recommend videos by a YouTube channel called The Coding Train. I've done a fair amount of processing when I was just in college, and then I recently picked it back up when I was watching the videos from The Coding Train. So it's a very, very useful course, and it's free. You can just watch it on YouTube. But if you are not really one to code, what I would recommend is maybe getting to know Touch Designer a little bit, because this is also a fairly operational, algorithmic, node-based design software, I would say that it's called. And you can really play with algorithms and inputs there without having coding knowledge, basically. And for that, I would highly recommend checking out the YouTube channel of William Chepe, also known as Electronaut. That's the channel that got me into learning touch design, and it's really, really interesting so far. Moving on to one of the most obvious graphic design trends, and that's the glossy buttons and the glossy UI. And I think this is the only design trend that will only be mostly visible in UI, but I've also experimented a little bit with it with some proposals for clients where it was more of a creative poster. And that's just because I've been doing the glass glossy style for years at this point, so actually it's kind of fun to see it come back. I'm personally a little bit sick of it already, but of course, like, Apple's iOS 26 made this huge around the end of or second half of 2025, and I think it's only gonna become a little bit more big as people start copying this style, as happens often with UI design with Apple. But yeah, I like that it's maximalism rather than minimalism, because this gives you a lot more freedom to create some cool stuff rather than stripping away and just, making things seem a little bit lifeless. So the final category is a little bit hard for me to slap one title on, but I've called it psychedelic illustration in 3D for now. And that's kind of not really what's going on here, because all of the artists that have this specific style really don't have the same style, but the train of thought is basically the same as all of the things I mentioned before, maybe with the exception of the glass glossy buttons, but it's basically like the human touch of the art or design or animation rather than the involvement of a computer and just leaving at that. Some of the artists that for me fall into this category are Crudex or Crud55, Jonathan Castro, El Papi Kriko, Leif Podhajsky, Nikita Savi, Anna Mills, and Kim Laughton. Some of these are 3D artists, some of these are animators or mixed media artists, illustrators, or just graphic designers or art directors. But all of them, I've put them in the same category basically because in all of their work you can see this human touch in there rather than the involvement of just a computer and just, I don't know. They also feel like they've really developed their own style, and what I think sets them apart is that an AI wouldn't really be able to recreate this kind of stuff, only if you would say in a prompt, copy this specific artist, and then it would start doing something, but I think it will never look the same as when the original artist created it, because there's just so much human touch in there. I would just first off highly recommend you to check out all of the artists that I just mentioned. Again, link is in the description down below. But if you want to get started on this by yourself, if you want to do 3D, I have some Cinema 4D tutorials on my channel, but Cinema 4D is quite expensive, so maybe if you're on a budget, I would suggest to learn Blender. I might be starting to learn that soon. If you have an iPad, I would recommend trying out Nomad Sculpt. It's a fairly cheap 3D software and it's very, very straightforward to start sculpting in. And if you have an iPad, of course, you can just also work on the illustration part with Procreate. But essentially, if you have a drawing tablet, you can do drawing in every drawing software, whatever you prefer. But the cheapest and probably most human form of all is to just buy yourself a sketchbook or get a piece of paper and start drawing or designing and see whatever you can create. So I hope this video at least inspired you to create something cool, and if not, I hope you at least discovered some amazing designers, animators or artists. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you have not done that already, because my channel contains a lot of tutorials and other design related videos for you to check out. If you want to support the channel further, consider checking out my website where I sell some of the asset packs that I mentioned, like the Filth texture pack, or support the channel on Patreon. The link for all of those will be in the description as well, but for now, I'm gonna leave you off. Thank you so much for watching. This is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out, and hopefully see you guys in the next video.